Hey guys, Kenny Duncan Jr. back with the Coin Shop Podcast alongside my brother Matthew Duncan and a special guest today, Michael Garfield, the high-tech Texan. A lot of you know him. If you're from Houston, been in Houston for an extended period of time, it's kind of hard not to know Michael's name. Michael, thanks for being on the show. So what about us? Oh shit, I almost knocked my freaking headphones off.
See, it's funny being on this side because I'm usually one asking questions. My job is to be the interviewer, so it's kind of it's a little odd for me. But
all right, so flip the chair.
So I can ask you a tons of questions. Is this what you guys wanted to do in life? Is to do coins and jewelries, customer service? And I know your father had a lot of stuff to do with it, but how did you even take over this and get in the industry, Matt?
I would say when I was in my 17, 18 range, this is something that I always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think I got serious until, early 20s.
Yeah, early. I don't think anybody really.
I mean, I was serious. I was serious for that age.
You were
working
serious
as much as I was working
to your capacity.
But I wasn't ready to, take it on.
Because your dad, you grew up in it. You saw the business.
Grew up in it. Yeah. I got to do some coin shows. I always was around, Dad always kind of made us, from a young age, do things, clean the garage and work. We were always working, right?
Remember those summer
right?
garage cleans.
Who wants to make $1? Let's clean out this whole garage.
Yeah. $1. He's like, man, you're in 1965, Pop. That's $50 at least.
Right. Yeah, I'll take a 5.
Yeah, I'll take a 5.
Yeah, I'll bargain for a 5 right now. But I feel like at a young age, I was always around coins. I always was interested with coins. I had a coin collection starting out. So, it was something I was gonna take on. Now getting into watches, that was different, and getting in the diamonds and paper money, that came with time and just adding revenue streams with Kenny and I enjoy doing those things. I enjoy learning new areas of expertise and adding every day to coins and currency and we try to learn something. We learn every day, but that goes with all the material, all the everything we get to buy. So
yeah.
The industry that you boys are in, it's really interesting because I studied to be my profession of radio, television, and film. I literally studied the science of it, how to light and how to do the microphones. If you're going to be a doctor, obviously you're going to go to med school. If you're going to be a lawyer, you go to legal school like that. And I doubt there's a coin and jewelry school.
There is.
Is that something that you started in, or because the expertise that you guys have, it has to be from the learning experience of day to day to day. Maybe it's learning at Dad's knee, but the fact is maybe you didn't know much about as you said, you didn't know much about watches Matt, at first. Right. You knew coins, okay? But you learn it, and that's a special trait and a special trade too by learning everything.
And I thought I knew coins. Mm-hmm. I didn't know coins. Yeah. I still don't know coins.
Right. Because you didn't go to school.
You learn.
Yeah.
Well, there's knowing
levels.
There's knowing coins and there's being a numismatist.
Exactly.
Right. There's playing music and there's being a musician.
Right. True.
Right. And there's.
Did you major in numismatism?
So no. So I didn't. I wish we would have. So let me tell you a little bit. I'm the oldest. I did every wrong thing possible. Right. I was on a collision course not to be in the coin business pretty much. And if I'm honest, it was always in the back of my mind as something I knew I could do. I will say something about our dad. Our dad is not, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't like me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. My dad's not known for him being some great numismatist. My dad is known for being probably one of the hardest working people in the entire planet.
Which counts for even more.
And he instilled in us at an early age that the only way to get whatever it is you want and whatever means it is to get there, it's by hard work. There's no shortcuts.
Right.
Right. So I think it was in anything that I personally did, I did it really good. Right. And whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, I was always the best at doing, And so when this opportunity came up, man, it was kind of like feast or famine. Mm-hmm. We were taking over a shop that, I wouldn't say, let's just put it like, it was very dated, right? I mean, it's kind of like, here's like a Subaru, and I need you to go win, freaking, F1 race or something, right? Like we needed to do some recalibration a little bit. And I think that the hard work component of it, no matter what we did, we were going to do it and learn it right. And, there's a school they do in Denver. They call it the summer seminar. So we just, how many kids did we send over there?
4.
That's it?
4 extra because we already sent.
Or 6.
Okay. So we did 6 scholarships, and it's basically an introduction to numismatics. Okay. And they have some of the best numismatists in the world. They come to Denver for a 2-week period, and they start teaching different classes, very intensive classes about, coin grading 101, introduction to numismatics, introduction to world coins, ancients, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever your vibe is, you're able to go in here and learn from some of the industry market makers. I was invited to go and teach how to be a successful coin shop owner. And so I'll be there this June, teaching with some other really, really good guys. How they even asked me, I have no idea. But so we'll be there, and we're actually sending some of our guys that we're hiring there, which I wish we would have done. But let me back to that original point. I don't think my dad ever wanted any of us in the business.
No,
ever.
It was never. It was always like, wanted to do the business.
Yeah,
it's here for you.
Whatever you want to do, I'd rather you go to school and do what you want to do.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be coins. It could be anything.
I think he always wanted me to be a senator. Like he would always say, you could have been a senator. He was like, he always
still could be, bro.
He just had really, really, really high hopes for the kids, And now I don't think he'd change it for the world to have all 3 of the boys, and a young girl on her way. I mean, we're vibing,
right.
And we're kicking ass.
And it's family.
And it's family. We rely on each other. We're here every day, if Matt and I, can't come in on Saturday, we got something going on with the kids or baseball, Dad will come in and he'll take care of everything, and it's like, you don't have partners like that in the world, right? They just don't come about. And when people say family business, we are truly a family business. We truly rely on each other to pick up slack where slack's needed. And we have a company goal and we have a family goal in mind. And it's come hell or high water, we're going to get there. And again, the crux is hard work. It's not, some evolvement in numismatics that we just know more than everybody else. It's really, we're willing to outwork whomever we're up against.
I love the family aspect. It's amazing. And it goes back to, if you own restaurants, the family recipes, but to your credit. So I was here about a month ago or something. And you actually gave me you handcuffed me and you blindfolded me. You took me in the back of where you guys sit and there's safes and everything. And you're showing me, how teaching me about the watches and, Matt, you're shining and polishing. And all of a sudden you start talking to somebody, look around, there's your dad. It's late. He probably didn't need to be here.
Yeah.
But
right.
You got a new shipment of something. Dad was just sitting there. He was just doing inventory or something like that. He was just hanging. So he's on, and you're just talking to him like he's just another partner, like that. That to me is like, man, this is top to bottom. When you say it's a family business, it means a lot because it's family and it's the Duncan name.
Yeah.
And you need to carry on that Duncan name, and that's the whole thing. You want to keep the tradition coming on. I like that.
We have some pretenders in Houston who, basically bite off everything that we do. I mean, there's 2 companies that I can name, which I won't because that would be horrible of me to do that.
Feed the podcast.
But these guys literally they'll take everything that we do and they'll add it to their media campaigns.
Oh, we're family business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got a 2-year-old kid who hangs around or something like that. Like,
some distant nephew, distant nephew or, niece or aunt or uncle or something working in the back. It's like, to me, that's, not, and I'm not discrediting them as being a family business, but I feel like when I do business, and we were talking about service earlier, at the end of the day, and you and I have had this conversation more than once, we're going to have it again, as I get older and as I get in different circles, service means more to me than almost anything. It almost means more to me than the product because I don't have tons of time and I don't get to do a lot of things I want to do because we're here, literally 6 days a week, 50. And it's never off. Last night I was on a call on the way home from the Astros game, for almost 30 minutes, just trying to get ready for today. I got a big day today, right? So it just never stops. And when you have family that you can rely on, man, and we hire families. So we not only just have our family, but we hire families. So Olivia,
she told me.
Elliot, Aaron, we had Daria. We had six. We have almost 6 family members from another family tree working for us. You know, out of the 30 some odd people, that's a lot, including our own ourselves. You know, so we really believe in a power family.
Well, if this media career doesn't work out, can I change my name to Michael Duncan and I could just slide in as part of the family?
Depends on what your contributions are.
I'm a great customer service guy.
That's right. Everybody has to
I don't
contribute.
know this guy ever has had an enemy.
I don't think so either.
You never would get a bad review.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because I mean,
well,
great personality.
Thank you. Let me ask you another question too, because I always talk about, I want to see, I think 5, 10, 15 years ahead. What is the future of coins? Now, let me explain this. A lot. There's so many rumors like, you know what? I hate pennies. We don't need pennies or nickels like that. When are we just going to go to dollars amount like that? And obviously now we do have PayPal, Venmo. We may be a cashless society. What are your thoughts on the futures of coins and paper money?
It's coming. Yeah, digital currency is coming. It's absolutely no way to get around it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll use an analogy. When I was in Europe recently, I started to kind of take notice they were no longer taking cash or euros, right? So they were not taking euros, and they laughed at the U.S. dollar. Mm-hmm. And I was there before COVID, and they wanted the U.S. dollar more than they wanted any euro. And there were places that were not taking the U.S. dollar at all as payment, no exchange rate. They didn't want anything to do with it. That shocked me. Then, I started to notice a lot of I say bodegas, but a lot of the places that I was going to, just like little small shops, credit card only, Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay, lots of Apple Pay, which is really scary to me because to me, I feel like it's a precursor to what's coming. And I mentioned something to my dad, and then we were out at a restaurant and they didn't take cash. And not that we were going to use cash, but I was just pointing to the sign that I'm starting to see more and more people.
The future is now.
So the good thing about our business, it has really nothing to do with it, right? Because we don't sell modern coinage.
True, right?
And the coinage we sell is collectible, right? It was made already, and it has a mintage, and it has a survival rate, and all of the information's there for the collector to be able to consume. So, I think it'll be better for gold overall. I think you're going to have a lot of people that are not excited about digital, and they want their hard fiat money. They don't want to give up their, hundreds. And I get it. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying I think there's going to be enough fear where you'll see gold trading at some really crazy levels. That's going to, it'll put some shock in
the markups will be outrageous.
Did I just hear a subliminal? Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. I'm not sure. I mean, I know you can't say that, but
sure, I can. And you can buy gold. I just the writing's on the wall. I don't have to say anything, And if that person feels like they want to do it, it's probably a good idea. If they don't, no big deal.
Yeah, there's a push for customers that if they're going to own gold, they want to be able to hold it.
Right.
It's like if I'm not holding it, then I don't own it.
Yeah.
It's not here.
It's a tangible thing. And let's go back to the coins and dollar bills. Maybe it's an age group that we're in that maybe my kids and your kids are younger than my kids. They made a tangible feeling of opening a wallet, pulling out a hundo. This is what we grew up with. It's neat. You go to tip somebody like that.
Yeah.
Do I really? I want to hand some guy at 20. I don't want to say, hey man, what's your Venmo so I can actually tip with it. We laugh right now. Yeah. But my kids right now, so my kids are all in their 20s right now, and the only way that, if I have to, I really don't have to, but when they were in college, I put money in their account. I had to get a Venmo account because this is the only way that kids are dealing with this thing. When I was in college, I literally had to pick up and make a long distance call from Austin to Dallas to talk to my parents to say, could you put some money in my checking account? We've come so far, and I see so many places that don't accept cash. You go to Toyota Center right now; it's cashless. It goes on and on. I see the convenience over there. But anyway, I wanted to know if it was going to affect your business. But you're right, because my grandfather had this massive coin collection, and the coins will be around forever to collect and actually gain value.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just, again, to me, I think the play there is people being scared of having digital currency where everybody, let's just say a government entity, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm just saying eventually somebody's going to be able, and they're going to be privy to your stuff. Mm-hmm. that's a bit of an overreach to me. That's a little too much, right? I think there's going to be some pushback on that. But with pushback is fear. With fear is, not a solid dollar and maybe a higher gold. That's my outlook on it. I didn't go double down on gold because of it, right? In my own personal portfolio. I still own a lot of other things outside of gold. I think gold's good to have, but I'm not the guy that's, put your life savings in it. I think that's a horrible idea. It's not smart.
You have to diversify.
You got to diversify. Yeah.
But the reason I ask is because I'm trying to listen. People say, "Hey, what's the next big technology?" I'm like, bro, listen. If I could predict the future, I would not be on the radio. I'd be on my island somewhere, just sipping martinis. No,
that's the same.
You
thing
don't know,
us.
But you do have to keep your pulse on what is happening, because I never saw 20 years ago. I mean, I never knew there was anything called social media. I never knew there's anything that could replicate where we technically don't need desktops. Our lives are on these phones, and in the way the kids are interacting right now, and the way that the records were released. I mean, I had cassettes, 8 tracks, and vinyl. It's like nowadays, it's the hell was an MP3 that we could download, streaming like that? Things change faster than we can imagine. So that's when I ask the question. It's like, well, I like asking the experts, what do you think? And you don't know the exact answer, but it's neat hearing expert opinions of where it could go.
Yeah, and it'd be funny if you let's ask a 65-year-old coin dealer that question.
That's right.
I'd be interested to see what because I think if you would ask my dad that question, I don't think a lot of the older guys understand that the blockchain technology behind these digital payments is actually a really, really smart idea. And it really will cut down on fraud if I understand it correctly. Again, but now you're also like, I have somebody paid me in a Bitcoin, a couple of years ago. And I sold it at 30-something thousand, and it's sitting in an account that I don't have access to.
Right? You lost it.
And, I have access to it, but I don't have this 2-factor authentication BS. And honestly, I just haven't had the time to sit down and really try to figure it out. But I know that money's there. I checked on it actually the other morning just for the hell of it. But I think a 65-year-old person, or a person that's not big on computers. I mean, I worked in computer retail sales as a kid. I love computers. That's what I was going to do. I was going to be the next Michael Dell, the next, Steve Jobs. I wanted to build computers, and this is what I wanted to do. And I worked at Office Depot. I met a guy who was custom building computers outside of his business, and he hired me right there on the spot. I put in my 2-week notice, went to work for him. It was really, really big. And this is 95. Windows 95 was just released. It was the first, full blown, with a graphics,
the operating
easier
system.
It was just a really cool user interface. You went from Windows 3.1 to this 95, and it just literally blew everything away. You have Internet Explorer built in. You have all these things, and email was really starting to get big. And the biggest problem was trying to get the older crowd to accept it. I got a feeling you have the same thing with this and this crypto BS. I believe it's going to be a part of our lives. I don't know to what magnitude. Obviously, the government's not just going to let it be the Wild West. It's been the Wild West. Billions and billions of dollars have been made on bullshit coins that literally evaporated in air. A lot of them are Ponzi schemes. A lot of them are issues. There's a lot of issues with them. A lot of pump and dump schemes and things of that to be aware of. But I believe at the root of it, the technology, the blockchain technology behind it, I don't think is going anywhere. That's my personal opinion.
I use 2 words. You say, the 65. You ask a 65-year-old guy versus a 40-year-old guy. Let's go back to Windows 95. I mean, I used to work with Microsoft back in the day, and that was massive shift. When Windows 95 came out, they licensed the Rolling Stones, start me up with the whole thing. I use 2 words a lot: paradigm shift. If you cannot shift with the times, you're a dinosaur. Yeah. Luckily, let's just go back to my parents when Windows 95 came around. Even though my dad's very technological, electrical engineer, everything. Luckily, they got computers. They know how to email. My grandmother, last year, she passed away at 105. Never had a computer in life. She had a wired, the corded telephone. Only way we could talk to her, we pick up the phone, we visit her like that. But she was not the paradigm shift. If you don't shift with the paradigm, what the hot new things are, you're dead in the water, man. Yeah. You've got to keep doing it. Yeah. If you never wanted a cell phone, doesn't happen like that. If you don't understand what social media is, you don't have it right now. I mean, to some extent, you just don't understand the paradigm of the way that we communicate right now. You've got to keep rolling.
No, I agree. And things are coming so fast. And like you said earlier about the social media, everybody has a voice. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's got an idea. how do you take all of that into one, and how do you come out and form your own opinion, not get skewed by reading? You say hate Twitter. I mean, Twitter, I love Twitter, but man, a lot of hate on Twitter.
There is, no.
Right?
Oh, I'm not knocking Twitter. Well, actually, if you're an Elon fan or not Elon fan, no. I think Twitter serves its purpose over there, but there's a lot of hate on Twitter. There's a lot of hate on social media. There's a lot of, there's a lot of hate everywhere you go when you knock on doors.
You got keyboard warriors, who are really big and tough behind the keyboard.
Conspiracy
right?
theories, this, and everything now is political this, political this. And so you try to block out the noise. And also you do your research too. Don't listen to one opinion. You listen to a few opinions. Unless you've listened to listen, I'd like to say you should listen to my opinion. But then again, I've done this for 25 years. I think I've built up a reputation that I ain't screwing people around. I do my research to make your life simple. Okay, listen, you could spend 4 weeks of deciding what your favorite car or what your favorite television is going to be. But listen, I've done that research. Let me give you 1 or 2 suggestions. Hey, then take my suggestions and do your own research. But I'm going to save you time also. So just listen to as much as you can. So
in closing, what are some of those suggestions that you have maybe to our audience to help build their brand, to help to get them more in the public spotlight, to help take because again, I believe in order for you to take your business to the next level, you yourself have to take yourself to the next level, right? You have to make a commitment to be better, right? What advice do you have for those guys out there who are building their business, trying to build their brand?
I'll tell you what, at the lowest level, never jack anybody around. Never screw anybody around.
Yeah.
Your word is your word. A lot of the deals, 25 years, all the endorsements, all the TVs, all the contracts, everything I do, most all of it has been a handshake. Okay, I don't need any lawyers type of thing because the one time I screw something up, well, there goes, I'm mud.
Yeah.
Never, ever screw anybody around. Other than that, I'm a big networker. You can chop me up and categorize me many ways. Oh, he's a radio guy, he's a TV guy, he's a marketing guy, like that. Networking, introduce yourself, get out, go to events. I know a guy who knows a guy, okay? Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Make friends and over-deliver too. If I'm going to tell you I'm going to do something, not only am I going to do it, I'm going to do it faster than I promised that I'm going to do it too, and I'm going to keep on like, geez, Michael, I didn't know you were going to do that. Well, that's what I do, and that's what it is. It's whether it's a personal brand or whether it's a great brand, a physical retailer store or online like you guys are doing. It's coins and jewelry like that. Yeah. Geez, I know I bought a watch from Kenny and Matt one time. I never expect him to email me about a month later going, hey, here's another great deal because I got another. I know you're a Rolex fan, or I know you're this fan. You're a Ken Griffey Jr. fan. Well, we just got another signed baseball jersey. Geez, how did he even know that? It's the little nuances. Over-deliver, network, marketing, and just don't jack people around. It's at the simplest terms.
Yeah. No, amen.
Amen, yeah.
Got anything?
No, that's...
I want to go shopping
honestly,
right now. I'm going to go downstairs. Every time I come here, man, it's like a trap. And I love it, man.
Well, come on.
I'm going to do it because it's so big. How often do you get new gear? New everything. You get watches every
daily.
hour?
Yeah.
Daily, yeah. Stuff's in and out. The packages in and out of this place are nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you have, how many, you can't even count the repeat customers.
It's a lot. No. We're hitting about 85% right now. We're a returning customer base. So, it's a high number. But again, we strive for greatness.
But they come in here regularly, knowing that you have, because the past 2 times I'm here, I'm sitting there looking at watches. I don't even have to talk to you because one of your regular customers is telling me how cool this watch was. That happened last week. I'm getting to the Hulk and the Pepsi's, of the Rolex, and I didn't know much. You weren't even around. This dude who's been a long time customer of yours, he was educating and telling me that, man, it's the only place I shop. That's the best type of advertising you got, other than endorsing from the Michael Garfield radio show. But anyway, no, but it's the word of mouth, man. And you've got the repeat customers, and you're doing it damn well, boys. So congrats.
Well, no, I appreciate it. Guys, hey, cannot explain how much I appreciate having Mr. Garfield here today. Michael Garfield, high-tech Texan.
Casey Kasem.
Bam, that was awesome. Giving us giving us a little tips on brand building and honestly just some really good tips for life, man. Just don't screw people over. That's a horrible idea, and it's a good way to get nowhere fast. So anyway, this wraps up the Coin Shop podcast. Thank you very much from the Duncan family. You guys take care. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Sweet.
I got to roll.
Over.
I'm sorry.
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Ah! Hey, partner. Hey.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
That was awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's good, man.
We're going to Blue Jack.
We're doing it. Let's do it.
I know.
I'm in.
He wears shorts and golfs all the time. That good.